of all time.
I don't know what Comic Sans. I don't know what the sans and Comic Sans mean. What's a comic?
Sans serif. No serif.
What is a serif? I'm a math major, Parker. I don't need to know these things. All I need to know is that DarkZero banned out the Thatcher, which is their most commonly banned attacking operator in 3 of the 7 games they've played so far. XSET's most common attacking operator ban is a tie between Thatcher and Ying.
I wonder if they're going to ban Thatcher too.
Probably not, and I also don't think they'll ban the Ying, because DZ don't play it a ton, and it's not huge on Clubhouse. I mean, maybe. Nah, Habana makes a lot more sense.
It's going to be a heart breacher.
Yeah, that makes, that's a better Clubhouse.
This is probably going to be a Kaid ban from DarkZero, so what do you think from XSET here?
Wamai.
Probably Wamai.
They've banned Wamai in 6 of the 7 games so far. I think Wamai ban on Club is pretty solid. And DZ loves to ban Azami, so it's not like XSET needs to ban that. We've talked about how good Azami is on Clubhouse. We had a game yesterday where Azami had a lot of impact. Won't be Wamai, it'll be Kaid.
So I thought DZ was going to ban out Kaid. So now they can target ban one of the operators. Could they potentially get rid of a smoke against Kino? That would be fascinating.
Yep, that's exactly what they did.
I am the smartest man alive.
That's what you say, that's for sure. I believe another team, I gotta check this, so you're gonna have to give me a sec, but I believe another team counterbanned Smoke against Kino as well.
Wasn't it yesterday?
I think it was. I'm double checking, but XSET yesterday banned Smoke against Kino. So yes, yesterday we had a counterban against
XSET
Kino
banned
as well.
Smoke against Kino.
So my point doesn't matter. Moving into round number 1, I was incorrect on that one. Wait, hold up. No, Astralis banned Smoke. Liquipedia's wrong. Okay, CGG backs me up. Astralis banned Smoke against XSET, which is what Kino is at. Liquipedia.
I'm sorry.
Somebody can fix
People
that.
who edit Liquipedia do so without any pay and out of the goodness of their hearts, and you are besmirching the good name of our Liquipedia editor.
There's a good chance the person who edited that was Super Bunny, the guy that does like all.
I was gonna say they're both. You were literally praising our 2 stats people for the major chances, and they are both Liquipedia contributors.
I keep it real, okay? They get praised when they give us good stats. They get flamed when they give us wrong stats.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable indeed. We're going down to the basement for the first time. For the first round here, DarkZero choosing to go down. They played this bomb site 7 times at the major through, I believe, 3 different plays. They won it 4 of those 7 times, positive win rates. And Clubhouse as a whole, DarkZero played and won 3 times at the major. They were undefeated here, so it's going to be a tall task for XSET to upset them.
Well, you upset them. You know, Liquipedia is the best thing ever. Anyone in the world can write anything they want about any subject, so you know you're getting the best possible information.
Well, they have to write it on Esports, but otherwise,
what's the difference between Liquipedia and Wikipedia?
Yes.
Also, I'm trying to figure out what charm Hyper is running.
I didn't catch it. Sorry. It's not the Intero.
Sorry. No, that's old news. New news? New news, by the way. The super charm. Anyway.
It's been a big power-up for a lot of players in the league.
Has it?
Yeah, I mean...
It's been a big power-up for Super's bank account as well. He gets money for every person who buys one.
Does he really? Wow.
Yeah, I keep missing out on what this is. I'm always fascinated by the drip that teams decide to use. And, of course, the player cams are very much concealing that charm. First kill goes to NJR. Kino down for the count. He won't have to tussle with that smoke ban until he moves to defense. In the meantime, Kino playing one of the Heart Breachers. Voted by you on the Rainbow Six game account as the single best Heart Breacher, Ace, which, by the way, is incorrect. I'm sorry if you voted in this favor, but if you think that Ace is the single best Heart Breacher and is a must-pick all the time, then I have some beachfront property in Iowa to sell you. Either way. The Ace is down for the count. Panbazoo on Azami, unbanned, flourishing right now. As NJR baits in spirits, they were trying to take out Panbo, but the party comes from none other than NJR. DZ still holding on the main floor of this basement defense.
NJR, they call him N Junior where I'm from. He's been fantastic on the roam. He's gotten the first 2 kills, and a lot of it comes out of Azami. Great Azami play coming in from Panbazoo, NJ's partner on the roam. NJ eventually does get traded out. Yaga cleans that up, but still, it's a great advantage to start things out with for DarkZero. That's going to put them up in a 2-man, now a 1-man advantage. And again, with this time starting to tick down, we still got the stock hatch closed. We've still got the stock hatch open. We've still got the moto hatch closed and the kitchen hatch closed, so there's not a lot of angles for XSET. They've got to come in through blue. That's where 3 of their players are located, and they've only got 3 alive. So this is an entirely blue push going on right now.
Yaga, whose name affectionately is the Yog Dog, is the first point of the spear down below. Realizes that over by dummies doesn't have any much of a contest and can keep walking up. Canadians Nitrocell takes him out in the last one left. Diaz there to walk on in. It's Gomez now in a 1v4, and he's done and dusted. Hyper, who spent most of the round playing upstairs before heading back to the main floor, makes his reemergence to the bomb site and gets the kill. DarkZero on Clubhouse take round number 1.
Yeah, so man disadvantage push is already bad when it's a one-dimensional, low-time man disadvantage push. It's never going to really favor you. XSET had a really tough hand going into that execute, of course. A lot of that coming from the roam. It took them a long time to take control of that top floor, and it took them 2 bodies. Typically, when you're roam clearing, you want to get some kind of advantage, right? You want to either get a man advantage or you want to clear things out really, really quickly. XSET did neither of those things, so very difficult to make that push work. They couldn't do it. Unfortunately, if they had some more times, I'm sure they would have worked through some other angles, but that wasn't the situation they were in. So, rough first round. They can chalk it up to just not being able to roam clear against NJR and Pamba. They can go again when they come back to this bomb site, most likely in round number 4. For now, though, we go to CCTV and Cash, and this is one that DarkZero, through their 3 games at the Major, played twice and were undefeated through those 2 rounds. Small sample size, but still a good showing from DarkZero on
You
Cash.
love small sample sizes.
I like small sample sizes when it's specific. I don't like broad small sample size stats, but this is a DarkZero specific stat, so I think it's fine.
Okay, well, thank you for clarifying. I'm glad that we have that on the record now for everybody here.
Yeah, I told you that multiple times yesterday, but it's okay. I know listening's hard.
Yeah, just don't listen.
Didn't you have to be nice? Didn't your mom say that you had to be nice today?
Yeah, me not listening to you doesn't mean that I'm being mean to you.
I would consider that rude.
I would argue that not listening to you is actually much nicer because it gives me fewer things to then roast you and critique you on.
All right, well, Taro Mom, let us know what you think on Twitter about that statement.
I don't care.
That's definitely rude.
We'll talk about the stats as they continue to roll forward. A regulation victory for XSET gives them a 95% chance of making it to the Berlin Major. The only team today who can outright clinch on their own is OXG. They'll be playing in the next matchup, actually, against Space Station, whose chances of going to the Major suffered a very crucial blow yesterday, and really poor timing for the fans of SSG. As for DarkZero, they've still got an outside shot, but they're honestly not that much higher than what Beast Coast would have been at had DZ or Beast Coast won in regulation. Moot point is Beast Coast lost. So DZ have a really tall task ahead of them. 1 minute off the clock. Upstairs CCTV defense.
Bandit being brought out here. The Maverick's going to mean that's not super impactful. The batteries on the platform wall, I don't even know if there any were there, but if they are, they're deleted. Pamba deleting Spirits as well. A nice little headshot taking him down on the roam. Playing Thorn down around the lounge area, helping out Hyper, who's trying to play Garage. This has been a great little combo for DarkZero. In the past, Kino almost punishes it, but escaping with his life is Pambazoo. He's a little lucky there.
Saw a little bit of Thorn earlier on Villa in our first matchup, and Thorn's pick rate has actually been creeping up a little bit on some of these defenses. The Razor Blooms that are brought from the Irish defender allow you to use them for information more than for damage, and you can also use them for displacement too. If somebody hops in a window and suddenly you hear the Razor Bloom start to go off, well, you're going to have to scurry away, just as Pambazoo did with the nade, but not successful. Diaz XSET's very first kill sets up with a final minute here in round number 2 with both teams sitting at 4 players apiece.
From downtown, Diaz Lucas. They've still got to work Hyper out of rafters, and this is no easy task, especially as they're using up most of their frag grenades. Only 1 left on Diaz, and he's dead from Hyper, so it's no longer going to be an impactful kill. Hyper all alone in this top area of rafters, opens up one of his own zombie barriers. They do kill him, though, so it's going to be so hard for DarkZero to hold on to the site.
It's Gomez to take care of him, and look at this. Canadian, he doesn't miss that shot. He's missed a couple in his career, but that's all right. Down goes Yaga. XSET with 2. DZ with 2. 30 seconds to go. Rafters no longer in control of DZ, so instead you'll have to coalesce around the bomb site. XSET march on in, and they'll find that it's vacant. There's nobody around. So Kino grabs the diffuser, drops it. Gomez will watch over top. A vault in, and Gomez just cannot connect, and he lets NJR run right over Kino. He gets flattened. Could there be more for the Bandit? No, Canadians there for the added benefit, and DZ play that so well.
Yeah, Gomez just has to have better coverage there. Of course, it was a good plant spot, I thought, from Kino, getting in deep inside of CCTV. They could have just tried to plant like right in the default spot behind the server rack, but they knew that the Orcs was down below. That could have caused a big problem. Canadian was actually sprinting all the way up the main stairs, so he wasn't going to do anything from beneath there, but they recognized that was a realistic threat, so they tried to push deep. They were looking for the kill onto the Bandit. They were looking for NJR so that they could make it a 2v1 because, again, they knew Canadian was not going to be on site for a long time. time they didn't find him, they said, all right, screw it, we're just going to go for the plants. And then, yeah, that coverage from Gomez just not quite there that round. So that's 2 in a row that XSET are going to lose here. Kind of tough for them. They entered this week as the second most likely team to go to the Charlotte Major. They had over 75% chance. They lost yesterday. If they have another regulation loss today, those odds are going to be looking very, very bad from 0 to 0 for XSET if this goes poorly.
Well, good start now for DarkZero through these 2 rounds. A scamper on over. Just a little scoot across the top floor of the map. Just a zip, zap, zoodle, whatever you want to call it. I'll go over to gym and bedroom. The gym component, often referred to as weight room, if you hear us call that. That's why it's over there. We were hoping for a bar stage defense on the clubhouse match that you and I casted yesterday, and by Jove,
for it.
I was hoping for it, and I don't care what you want. And I was very excited, and we got it. And then we got a clutch as well. Don't know if it'll be brought out, but a team that likes to go to different bomb sites is DarkZero, so they could just pull it out of their back pocket and decide that that's the place to go. Either way, I don't know if Pambed's controller disconnected or not. Just sitting waiting. Oh, I want to see what the charm is.
You'll get there one day. DarkZero actually don't have a very good win rate on Gym Bedroom from the Major. 1 win in 3 plays. So actually I wouldn't mind them if they did go down to the main floor there, just because this hasn't been their best bomb site. They'll try it now though, and perhaps they'll find success. The Azami being the big difference. We didn't have that back at the Major. Now of course they do, and NJR. We talked about how important this Azami has been on Gym Bedroom. Really does allow for some cool cache extensions with allowing you to retreat and cover your spaces. However, this is going to be a Jacuzzi side execute and a basement clear as Gomez finds Hyper for the first frag, taking down Hyper on the roam. This Nook has been so impactful. It's one of the highest win rate operators in the game right now.
There's a good post on the Rainbow Six Pro League subreddit about why Nook has seen such a high pick rate. And it's basically that in a meta right now, with attacker repick being as strong as it is, you can essentially tailor your whole setup, and that leaves you that flex pick to go however you want. And of course, an operator that works against the intel that the defenders bring, Nook can very easily fly in, get a kill, fly out. And that's exactly, you see a lot of teams using it. It's not like a concerted entry. It's get a pick and go away. Gomez showing exactly how that works. And that leaves DarkZero in a bit of a hole. It's also the first time that XSET gets first blood. DZ answers back. It takes quite a while, so no trade. The advantage that was born from XSET's kill is now gone, and that's Kino to die first for their team yet again. This is not a good spot for Kino to be in on attack. They'll need more from the rest of his team.
Down and below, an easy little pickup from NJR, who dropped down the hatch and found 1 kill, but the trade easy from Gomez coming out of the kitchen area, taking him down with a nice little headshot. Second for him on the round, makes it a 3v3 with 45 seconds to go. All DZ players inside the site. 1 Jacuzzi, 1 main stairs, 1 elsewhere.
There goes a nade that'll do some damage to DZ, the Eclipse in particular. Gomez at the top of the stairs. He's got 1 player not too far off, but Canadian's inside a weight room. He can just play and, quite literally, wait. Different spelling. Completely different meaning, but still, the pun is there. Nade for Diaz, but the moment that it gets pulled out, there's an audio cue that Eclipse can play off of, and a jump out from Canadian. Silences Yaga, DZ 3-0 to start off Clubhouse.
Nice way to play that 3v3. I also like just how they were able to move man advantage back in their favor. You saw that DarkZero weren't afraid to get aggressive and go for swings. The first time that they equalized the man count was a nice little swing onto the Jacuzzi breach, and then NJR in the 4v4 dropping down, saw an opportunity, took it. Unfortunately didn't know where Gomez was, but still it was a nice little play.
Which is something I don't usually do. I don't usually root for a team in the middle of a match, but I started to shift my allegiance from neutrality towards Beast Coast solely to rub it in your face that you threw me under that proverbial bus. Either way, we're both united that XSET's going to win this. Not looking so good for them right now. Full site rotation for DZ as they're successful on their 3 defenses, starting on Church, then going up to CCTV Cache, rotating over to Gym and Bedroom. Now back to the first bomb site where it all began. Only difference is that XSET just used their timeout. Their lineup doesn't look that odd as I say that. An operator who used to be so deep in the meta, you'd see her every single game. Not the case anymore. Ash getting picked by Gomez at the last second to complement the rest of their roster.
Curious why, perhaps, I don't know why picking Ash over the
Claymores too.
Here. Yeah, Claymores are pretty big. I mean, they don't have Claymores otherwise, and they do already have 6 flashes, so perhaps just feeling that is the better way for Ash to go right now. Fair enough. I mean, it's a good gun. If Gomez is more comfortable on it, I'm not going to question him. He's currently 3-3 right now, so he can play what he wants. He's top frag and XSET. Already we've got the platform wall being opened up. It's church setup, but there is a Valkyrie, and I think Hyper's looking to get a little aggressive. Pambazoo's up here as well. Those are typically the two most banned defending operators, Azami and Valkyrie, but both left up, both being utilized by DarkZero as they roam this top floor around CCTV cache.
Oh, early pick by XSET. They get another first blood. Yaga punishing Hyper. His roam will not be that successful. Hyper was first to die for DarkZero on the previous round. He was spotted out down in the basement by Gomez. Another from DZ will add to the pile of bodies. Pambazoo is no more. We're only a minute in, and DZ have fed 2 kills to XSET already.
Needlessly aggressive. Both of those swings, I mean, Hyper, especially the first one, out in the middle of CCTV, gets caught from the window from behind them. Unfortunate. And then I get that Pambazoo wants to trade. I get that he's trying to do something unexpected to catch them off guard. Doesn't work for him. Canadian as well. As we get more and more desperate in this round for DarkZero, these kind of like wild plays get less and less poor.
What is happening?
When you're in man disadvantage, you've got to go for like crazy stuff to try to like catch your opponents off guard. But XSET have been ready for it 4 times, not 5, and that's the fuse kit. So wait a minute, this is clutchable.
I would argue that they were very ready for it, but it was just that Eclipse won what was a sloppy gunfight. Doesn't win the second, and that's it for the round. XSET get on the board, and I understand, Jesse, that when you are in a man disadvantage, oftentimes you need to swing, because if you're just sitting on the bomb site, the 3 of you, and there's 5 closing in on you, you're going to get picked off in those trades. You got to get brazen. You have to try to even the numbers out. I understand that. I meant more as what is happening is why is DZ getting thwarted on their roams so quickly? Because usually, at least on this matchup, DZ have been quite strong on it. Good round from XSET. More normal for XSET. I think the first 3 rounds were a little uncharacteristic of XSET entering alone, not getting droned inappropriately, not using utility to flush out these defenders. And on a map like Clubhouse, that yes, it allows you to roam depending on where the bomb site is, you can clear out Clubhouse pretty fast with 3 to 4 drones and 1 or 2 people entering alongside that, depending on how many you're using. So, bit of negligence from XSET. Maybe they just needed to settle down, and whoever is behind them, coaching them, should be able to do that. Either way, they pick up the very first round, and they've done all of that without Spirits getting a single kill yet. The only donut/goose egg on the board.
It will be Vivas behind XSET, calling those sack timeouts, trying to calm the boys down. Bodega not there. So Vivas has stepped into that role and has done very well for XSET so far. The players speak very highly of him, both as a strategic coach and somebody that can kind of calm them down when needed to. Not his initial position, but he's filled it well so far. We see XSET attacking here now onto the cache bomb site. DZ switched up. Pamba still playing down below. That's where he was last time on the Thorn. Very aggressive, though. They haven't droned this. This is big. He's not going to get a kill. He'll back off. No harm, no foul. Pambazoo back into lounge.
This really isn't that different in regards to the way that the teams are holding, though. And Pamba had been in this spot before. If you remember, XSET actually didn't have that much difficulty sweeping through the garage. They had Pamba, and then I believe it was Hyper who was playing up top on the rafters as well. It really came in the mid-round where DZ was able to help, and then, of course, the final 2v2 that broke in DZ's favor because of bad coverage after the diffuser got planted. So XSET will need to be a bit more proficient as we hit the halfway point of the round. We're not there just yet. We're closing in on it. The start for the round, though, previously went well for XSET. They're having some difficulties opening up this wall.
Yeah, they've got the hardness of the off the wall on the left-hand side. They'll open it with the Flores drone now. And that's a nice little hole they can walk on through, so that's going to be good. 3 players over the platform side, Spirits outside of Garage on the left, and then a 5th player, not sure, probably on the roof at the moment, droning or something. We'll see where they end up playing at the actual execute. A couple of those players rotating over to Garage. Definitely Hyper is going to be the next target, but Pambazoo is really able to have a lot of impact, helping out Hyper, get a couple of kills from down inside of Lounge. I'm interested to see, once again, if he tries to play kind of aggro, if he tries to go for some picks. The fact that he's all the way at the top of Red Stairs means probably not, but Canadian looking to sneak in and have that impact anyways.
Canadian's been a high-impact player, as you talk about, and getting impactful frags has been the name of the game. Can he do anything to try and assist Hyper in this position, who's still playing up top? Nades might be there with his name on it. Just a small jiggle peek, lighting up Diaz, but cannot connect. XSET walk into Garage, and with a minute to go in the round, secure the very first pick. So now DZ will swing back and fire back, as an Adrenal Surge is enough to keep Diaz alive. The rest of the team of XSET all topped up.
40 seconds, they're outside. Hyper kind of had to swing that because they don't have a Jaeger. They do have a Wamai, but didn't have a lot of grenade protection, so Hyper knows he's got to get aggressive when players are swinging at him with the rafters. Loses the fight, though, and DS has retaken this position. With this pinch coming in from both Garage and the platform wall, this is going to be a very nice push from XSET. As soon as they get this zombie barrier off, they should have a nice little angle into the bomb site.
NJR is a very strong position, taking down Spirits. Still no kills. They'll elude the Frenchman on the team, or the French-Canadian, I should specify. Some of that wall's been opened up onto rafters, but it's a long-range gunfight that XSET wins off of. Canadian tries to retake. The players from XSET not particularly close, so NJR will be the last line of defense, tossing out a Nitro Cell quite literally, and he stops the plan and wins the round for DarkZero with a double. Beautifully played by DZ, even if they're way down in numbers. They take their 4th round.
NJR, the Banana King himself, coming in huge at the end of that round. It was looking very rough. Again, the rafters play didn't work out for Hypers. There was a little bit of pressure from the master side that NJR was able to do, but the site players all collapsed, and then the C4, as you called it, really, really nicely done to go through. Sometimes it's just that timer that does tick down. XSET had everything done correctly. They went through the checklist. They got control of Garage. They got the wall open with Maverick. I think the fact that it took them a little bit longer to get that wall open with the Mav and then with the Flores probably did contribute to the fact that it took them so long to get into that plant position. The clear of rafters was pretty speedy, so it almost made up for that fact. But then when it comes to your execute, the 1C4 denies the plant. You win it on time. It's just one of those rounds where small things slips past you, and XSET end themselves with this 4-1 round differential. They could get it a little bit better. They could make it a 4-2 split, but they are not going to be neutral or winning when they come out of this attacking half.
No, not the start that XSET wants, and they put themselves in a position where 5-1 halves are so rare that XSET will almost certainly need a 4-2 half of their own on the second side of things to push us to overtime, because they cannot win on that half. So that's particularly damning, and XSET doesn't have the start that they wanted. Yeah, they used their timeout, and they were able to get a single round off of that, and it was a good round on that church take, almost flawless. There was a single kill for DarkZero. Outside of that, I think the numbers really do speak for themselves. DarkZero, as a team, have been quite strategic on their roams and have been good in the final moments of a round. That's the second time that DarkZero has won that CCTV cache site on a last-second clutch. Obviously, strategy sometimes means a little bit more than just brute forcing your way on in, and DZ shows why.
Hyper on Rafters has been favoring this position in a lot of rounds so far. He's not done amazingly. You can see he's 2-4 right now. He has delayed a lot of time, but still, I mean, this is still a player that you want to be seeing getting all those kills. He has historically been the top fragger for DarkZero. Pamba kind of took that title away at the Major, and I do like how they're able to work together on the roam. But still, this nade could end things, and it does. It's not the nade, but it's the nade pressure that forces him out and into the crosshair of Gomez.
Earlier on in the game, you'd seen Hyper swing a couple times on those nade plays with no real backup from XSET. They correct that error this time, and because of that, they find their 4th first blood in a row. I know that might be a little confusing, but being able to start things off and give your team an advantage is huge. XSET have benefited from that through 4 rounds, but they've only been able to convert it once so far. Will a second follow? DZ still have some players off-site. They need to be found out by XSET. First half in the books, and Spirits will not find a single kill through the first half. That's not ideal. Drone scoots by NJR. I don't think he's been spotted, but he shoots it and then rotates either way as Canadian gets picked off. XSET closing in on this bomb site. DZ realizes that they need to start to form up and fortify their defense on site.
I like the way that Gomez has played around his teammates. The second kill that he just got there was a trade onto Canadian. The first one was being forced off by the grenade. Beautifully done by him. So far, DarkZero not looking ideal throughout this round. It's going to be a push coming in from Dirt, and almost a kill for Kino as a wild swing comes forward from Pambazoo. Doesn't quite get the frag that he was looking for, though. Eclipse down here. Most of this push is coming through blue right now.
And Eclipse watches one that goes by, gets a easy bullet pen onto Gomez, traded back by Diaz. XSET keeping close with their numbers, and there's another for Diaz as well. Who said harsh support can't carry the way? Last man standing for DZ is NJR. He gets a gun down, pulls out the shotgun. That's Diffuser surrendered too. He'll get pushed from 2 separate angles, but he takes the shotgun to it. Suddenly Yaga is down. Kino will need to clutch out. He's against the weapon that he's made a name for himself on, and he manages to outduel him. XSET, it's close. It was a 1v1, but XSET prevails in the first half, still goes in favor of DZ, but XSET pick up a big round before we go to the second half.
NJR back breaking. He can only carry so many rounds. He clutched last time, couldn't do it this time, but was in such a good position when he flanks down blue, gets the kit down in the ground. No idea on the side of XSET where that flank was coming from. He found 2 kills and had a very good chance of getting that third. Just lost the gunfight. It's unfortunate for him there, but man, oh man, he gave it a great shot. Ultimately, it's not a bad half for DarkZero. I mean, they can't be upset about this. NJR 8-4, dominating the server statistically, but XSET have started to find their footing. Even that one round, if that hadn't gone to a clutch of NJR, if that C4 hadn't flown through and allowed him to win the 1v4, this would be an even 3-3 split. So we're once again seeing a very close game. We're once again seeing a game barreling towards 13+ rounds, and that is horrible for both of these teams who desperately need to avoid overtime if they want to make it to the major. XSET less so. But even for them, regulation win is worth so much more than an overtime one.
Absolutely, and I mean, again, XSET are in good position no matter what the result of today's matchup is. They built up a nice cushion for themselves, but they are far from secured. And again, you've got a couple teams that are nipping at their heels. Parabellum suddenly went from being one of the basement teams at the start of the stage to having an outside shot that could become an inside shot, depending on what DZ does to XSET over the course of this match. So again, just something that we will keep tabs on and continue to go back to. First half, by the way, tail of the tapes. DZ got 2 first bloods, XSET 4. XSET burned their timeout after round number 3. They went 2-1 after that. So they managed to pick up 2 rounds. It stopped some of the momentum that DarkZero had, but DZ built up that good nest egg by taking rounds 1, 2, and 3. 3 bomb sites played, no bar and stage showed up. So we're still looking to see if all 4 will be played here on Clubhouse.
Odd for DarkZero, of the second best entry record as a team in the league right now. They're 38-32, +6 on entry heading into this matchup.
Are they the best statistical attacking team as well?
They were at the major. They really fell off at the start of the stage, but they're getting better as we go
They were either
the
best attacking team or one of the best defending teams yesterday.
They were the
stats.
best defending, yes.
There you go.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for correcting me. Thank you for having my back.
You're welcome. That's why they brought the stats guy into the cast, right?
Sure, we'll go with that.
Thanks, man.
Only small difference that we see here that might be worth noting out of the ordinary is the Thunderbird, an operator, the Canadian operator, who doesn't have the highest pick rate, but does have some use on certain bomb sites, especially if you want to play on a roam. A lot of teams like to put down 2 of those Kona healing stations in the bomb site and then keep one in their pocket so that they can either juggle it or play somewhere off-site and hold that map presence and potentially survive a nade, etc.
They want to get this kitchen hatch open, and with Selma charges, despite the impacts, I think they will. There's the first one, not quite opened yet, and there's the second Selma charge. That'll do it. They're using those Kiva barriers to try to block off some sight lines. I do like that a lot from XSET. Just make sure that these angles go a little bit more in their favor, and make it so that they can play a little bit more safe towards the back of Armory, where Diaz is right now.
Gomez at the bottom of main stairs, watching that door, barricaded up. Flash is coming in, his Spirits just evades them. Still blinded either way. 45 seconds for DZ to get into the bomb site. XSET just needs to sit and wait, as right now it comes onto the shoulders of the attackers. Gone 6 goes out, cannot capitalize off of a down Diaz, so instead go for the nade, but Pambazu just right now having a calamity of errors. No. It will open the barrier though and allow them to waltz on in, but Diaz could potentially be recovered. If he can get back over to the Kona station, he'll get rezzed right back up. Instead, it's now Gomez to go down. Diaz follows. NJR and the rest of DZ dominate the kill feed, leaving Yaga in a clutch or kick scenario, and he's kicked by Hyper. The final 2 kills go to DarkZero, and they stretch their lead as they now march towards victory. They're 2 rounds away from putting XSET into the dustbin.
I don't think there was an angle DarkZero weren't pushing there. They had a guy coming down main stairs. They had, I believe, 2 players on the kitchen hatch. They had a 4th player coming down in through dirt, and then they had a 5th player pushing oil pit in through blue. The only doorway they weren't walking through into that bomb site was Moto, and that was just fine because it was a Armory side take coming forward from DarkZero. So really nicely done from them. Very well coordinated. Everybody was pushing to the bomb site at the exact same time. Those Kiba barriers seemed so strong. They blocked off so many of those angles, but once they started to get opened up, the angles still were favoring DarkZero. They were able to pinch in and get a lot of those kills. Nice call for them to be able to spread out so much because there was a lot of early focus on that kitchen hatch. They did get it open though, and it worked out very nicely. I think you're starting to see like the effect of the smoke ban as well. Once we've moved DarkZero over to the attack, of course, XSET probably not fully prepped for a smoke ban. It's not super common. I'm sure it's something they've considered and something that they've planned around, but it is always difficult to adapt like that, especially for a player like Kino, who, you know, can kind of be static on his defensive operators at times. Not that he can't flex to other ops, but he's just played smoke for so long. He's played smoke for so long that he's now decided that the best play for him is to instead go Mira with the double Mira window on the platform wall. Parker, what do you think about this?
Well, this is one we haven't seen in
It's been a minute.
quite some time. This reminds me of consulate defenses downstairs where teams would put both black mirrors on the consulate garage wall, but it's been quite a while, so yeah. It's been a minute is absolutely correct. Despite this, and despite that setup being the main focal point for DarkZero, you'll want to do what you do on every single CCTV cache take, which is clear out the areas of the map that are far removed from that, and that includes gym and bedroom. Exothermic charge has already gone off. I think that's on the panel leading into construction. That is correct. Wow, that is actually a clean break. I don't think I usually see it where it's so clean.
Yeah, the entire wall is open. And
Not dirty.
it's not.
That is not a dirty wall.
I will say in Taro, it's no mistake that XSET brought 6 impacts with these mirror windows. You saw the effect of the first one there. It's going to be very tough to open up this entire wall just because with those mirror windows, there are angles to throw impact grenades through. Diaz threw the first one, and it did manage to get the first hard breach off the wall. Spirits with the second. It's so difficult, actually, at this point for DarkZero to open this up. They could technically Mav it. Mav can't be impact, but Mav can just be killed with those angles open on the wall as well. So this is very difficult for DarkZero. I'm interested to see how they adapt.
It's a poor nade tossed out by NJR. As a small error can cost a lot later on down the line. Those nades are usually so hard to come by. There was also a late mute jammer put down on that wall in CCTV that thwarted one of the Selmas from going off. Whether it was taken out by a follow-up impact nade, I'm not sure. But I mean, it doesn't really matter because unless you clear out the mute jammer, the Selma's not going to be effective. Anyway.
So they got the wall open, I do believe here. We'll see if Diaz tries to peek it a little bit. No, I believe they got a walkable hole in through this wall. But they wasted so much hard breach. That said, Pamba with the nade takes down Spirits up inside of Raptors. Canadian down to the bottom floor, helping out with that a little bit thanks to a nice nade. They've got control here. They got the wall open, and this is actually everything that they need to start going in for their execute.
Spirits the first to die for XSET and the first one in this round. Still searching for his very first kill. We'll have to find it in round number 9. All the rest of XSET set farther back. 30 seconds to go for DarkZero, holding onto that diffuser in the hands of Eclipse. DZ still spread out down below. There's a nade ready from Canadian. It doesn't work. NJR's gun finds Gomez. Diaz fires back from the top of red, but his position known. Kino one of his own as well. DZ will lose their 2 players downstairs, but Eclipse just walks right into the bomb site. NJR not too far off. Down goes Yaga, and the diffuser will need to be planted. Can Eclipse pull it off? Kino will head back to the top of red stairs, but he's gunned down by Panda, and that's all she wrote for that round. Match point DarkZero.
It's the same style of take where they're going in through every single doorway into the bomb site. They had a player coming in forward from construction. They had a player coming in from the CC window. They had a player coming in from garage. They had platform wall open. They were really all over that site. And again, they're all pushing together. The coordination is perfect. You can tell somebody is counting down those pushes. 3, 2, 1, go. And DarkZero were all in at once. I was a little worried that Eclipse had taken the defuse kit and was all alone moving over towards the CC window construction side of things. If he'd gotten swung on and dropped that defuse kit outside, could have been a disaster, but they didn't know where he was, so they couldn't have swung it, and ultimately it was DarkZero that were in control of that. XSET just sat still in their bomb site. They weren't going for anything aggressive. After they lost that opening death, they just sat and waited for DarkZero to enter into their site, and because they came from so many different points, it was so hard for XSET to look at all directions at once, and they ended up falling in that execute. I think the entire desk and casting panel picked XSET in this game.
I think so, yeah.
Kind of foolish there.
Oh no, it's going to be one of those Rainbow Six images that precede unfortunate events. Again, it's going to be the same as, what was it, TSM last week? I think it was TSM versus XSET, actually. And everybody said TSM, and then XSET ended up winning.
I think so, yeah.
Is that correct? I think it was.
There was definitely a Beast Coast game where that happened, where nobody picked Beast Coast.
Playday number 5 was TSM versus XSET, and XSET won it. So I'm going to imagine that that was the one. I remember everybody picked TSM. And I'm trying to remember who their opponent was. I thought it was XSET, but again, I'm getting old.
It happens.
I'm getting old.
You are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anyway.
42 as of last weekend.
The age always changes. You just continue to joke about my age. But thank you. I appreciate you for at least remembering that one of those 2 digits is correct, and it's not the 4. Either way.
52, my bad.
Could this be the final defense for XSET? Will Spirits find a kill? He's had games like this before, by the way.
Yeah. Spirits has been so good in some of those, in some of the rounds that he's played, some of the games he's played for XSET, and so bad in some of the other ones. He's an extremely hot and cold player.
No, hot and cold plays for Space Station.
Yeah, okay. Waiting for that one.
Tommy's been doing that
Tommy's done it a
all
lot.
day. Tommy's been doing that all day. It's always reminiscent of when I used to do it way back in the day, but it's been quite some time. Anywho, despite the fact that every single bomb site is open, XSET have not wanted to repeat mistakes of the past, so instead they will go over to Weight Room. Look at that, Kino just swung, by the way, but they're going to go hunting. Diaz gets the first kill, XSET finds two. Spirits breaks the goose egg before Hyper puts him in the grave. Yaga answers back, down goes Pambazoo, and suddenly it's Hyper in a 1v3. It looks like XSET are going to stay alive for one more round as Hyper has a single point of HP. You could blow him a kiss. That's what it would sound like.
Aww.
That's you blowing the kiss. And guess what? Hyper would die. Nade in hand. What do you do at this point? Spotted on the cam. They know you're down below. There's 3 players. You can just swing off of them. As good as Hyper is, on 1 HP, no way in the world that you're able to come back from this. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, they know where he's at, down at the bottom of the stairs. You can play around it, but of course out of nades now, blindly firing through the floorboards. You can see Eclipse is on a drone. It's not that they have 0 intel, but most of the players on DarkZero just watching Hyper in this moment because there's not a lot that they can call that's going to help him out. He walks up the stairs, zombie barriers blocking his way into sight, even if he had the kit, which he doesn't. There he goes.
It was over.
Yeah.
That round was over about 30 to 40 seconds ago. DZ decided to go for broke, break into the bomb site, start with the bathroom, move into weight room, move into bedroom. What they didn't account for was the ability for XSET to fire back inside of weight room, inside a bedroom, and as well over in logistics. So just in the previous rounds, the strength of DarkZero attacking from all these different angles seemingly disappears in that round, and DZ do not have the map control, I guess you could say, to punish the remaining players from XSET.
When DarkZero lost the title of Best Defending Team in the NAL Stage 2, it went to XSET, who have a 62% defensive win rate heading into this game. It's the best in the North American League, and when they started off losing every single defense for the first 2 rounds, I was worried that we weren't going to see it. I think the big reason why XSET have done so well in the defenses has been their site play. I think Kino's been an amazing anchor for XSET. I think both Gomez and Diaz have done a good job of kind of moving around in the site. Typically, Spirits and Yaga can be a little bit more aggressive on the roam, but again, when they come back, I think their site play has also been good. Really, for XSET, I haven't seen that at all so far today, and I think that is because of the multi-dimensional push DarkZero have been going for time and time again. That time it got very chaotic, got a little sloppy, and DarkZero weren't able to chain kills together, and ultimately XSET did win those site engagements. So I'm hoping we see more of that. I'm hoping we see XSET inside of the bomb site, playing a little bit better, able to go for some swings that catch some players off guard. It's tough though, when DarkZero pushing from so many different angles. Playing as a site player, playing as an anchor-focused team can be very, very difficult.
Correct. Very
Thanks.
correct. Still holding out hope for a bar stage here. Can't find it. Pambazoo first to go down. Gomez. The Thunderbird has been a staple of these XSET defenses, not just in terms of gadgetry, but also Gomez has been lighting it up on this team, and now will recover some of that remaining HP or missing HP with the Kona station. Gomez is actually back over where he was before. Spirits, who had broken the goose egg that he had previously with 1 kill to his name, now finds himself in a tricky spot, losing some of the protection over towards the CCTV wall, and also the Logi hatch gets blown open. So, where do Spirits go? Towards the top of main stairs over by the bedroom. And I don't know if he's going to persist for too long, as the rest of XSET seem quite safe, bunkered down in the bomb site.
It actually seems as though XSET have recognized the way DarkZero push, and they've recognized that they're not going to be able to beat these multi-dimensional swings that are coming in from DZ, so they say, screw it, let's win on the roam. And I like that change up a lot. Spirits has been a player that has been struggling to get engaged with this matchup, but now with 1 kill, starting to turn things around perhaps. He is still up above, got a good angle down into kitchen, but very much vulnerable as well if DarkZero are interested in clearing him. It looks like they're more focused on the site right now. Spirits is all over the map, currently in gym, could drop down to billiards if he pleases, but not currently the idea that he wants to go for. DarkZero aware he's up here. They're not going to forget about him, but it's just a matter of can he find an opening, and just quite can't find it on the Hyper, and now he's droned out. This is going to get a whole lot harder.
Spirits is just not having a very confidence-inspired day, and NJR drops through the Logi hatch, and there goes the remainder of the XSET roamer. Spirits gone before Hyper had taken a lot of damage in that gunfight. Still, DZ have opened up the top floor. They'll find very quickly that the rest of XSET is all comfy down on the bomb site below. So continue to drone that out and take the necessary steps before you can push in and get the diffuser down.
And I think a 4v4 is better than a 5v5 because, again, that's fewer angles DarkZero can use to push down. They've got players around blue, they've got players around kitchens, likely to be a two-pronged push here. We'll see how it goes.
One Nitro still remaining, by the way. That's Kino. Gomez has now taken on opportunity to get up to Moto, watching the bottom of main stairs. If DZ don't see this, that's an easy first pick for XSET when the execute comes in. Yaga takes out Canadian. That was one of the players from DZ up top. Next one lined up inside of blue. It's Gomez amidst the smoke to try to pressure Hyper. That's where the focus is. But XSET have their eyes turned towards all the different players at DZ. And the beautiful thing is that exists in a game like Siege is not in the server. There's no economy system. There's no finances you need to manage. You don't need to worry about guns disappearing or anything like that. The only real momentum, quote unquote, is the bomb site rotation if you're on either attack or defense. Because you could end up getting an unfavorable rotation and then your opponents end up playing on a bomb site that you're not going to win, period. And that is, that's momentum that goes against you. Either way.
I mean, that's kind of where we're at right now, right? We've had the 2 bomb sites in a row that XSET have done pretty well on, Gym, Bedroom, and then Church Arsenal. Now they've got to go to a 3rd site. If XSET want to stay alive because they had such a rough first half and they had such a rough start to the second half, they've got to be flexible and be winning on every single bomb site in this map, except for the terrible bar stage, so thankfully that won't be played out. But otherwise, they're going to have to win on all 3 of the primary sites on Clubhouse. They've done it twice so far. This is the one they have yet to find any success on.
Might have used the word motivation in place of momentum a couple times, but low blood sugar, it happens.
Yeah,
Either way, timeout taken by DarkZero. One thing that we do tend to see from all teams across every single level of Tier 1 play and every region of Tier 1 play is that a timeout is usually good enough to get you 1 or 2 rounds relatively quickly. That's all DZ needs. And again, there is no momentum here. DZ have already triumphed on this bomb site. It's a CCTV cash defense by XSET. And DarkZero, using their 6th pick, have brought out an operator that another member of DarkZero, that was a content creator, has talked about at length, which is Kali. Kali being brought in place of Thatcher, in place of potentially Flores or a Twitch, can do some serious damage. And I mean, it's not on the steadiest of hands for DarkZero, I will say that much. But Canadian can make some serious damage done with a shot or 2 from that sniper rifle.
Yeah, and it's brought out to counter this double Mira setup that we saw XSET running last time, right? They ran at the exact same time today, and this time they used the first little Kali Lance to deal with any of those mute jammers that might be on the wall, and then they just had the angle to open up that they could really wash in deep into the bomb site. Turn that angle from an impact hole to a Kali hole, right? And then all of a sudden, it's very dangerous to play inside of that room. It's very dangerous to play those impacts. Now look how open the wall is. DarkZero can walk in anytime they please, and that's all because of the Kali.
Spirits is the first one to take some damage, playing on the top of rafters, 1 and 9. This is a terrible game for somebody who usually is much better in the clutch. They'll need a bigger performance out of them because the top frag from XSET is the first one to die. Gomez is down. Spirits left on catwalk all alone. All he has are those Kiba barriers there. But he gets a nice pick on the Hyper. That's a great long-range shot. Another could be head as well, with he and Diaz sitting up on rafters. I'd forgotten about Diaz in that position, so maybe not completely on his own. A nade from below, but there's nobody there to receive it, so NJR tosses it out, and the damage that could have been done will have to go elsewhere. Kino picks off Canadian. There's the Kali gone from the equation. Spirits looks for one, but Diaz refrags, gets the kill. Panbazoo is there. Another for Diaz. Goodness gracious, all of a sudden XSET have rebuffed DZ, and the clutch master on DZ. Eclipse will have to find the remaining 2 kills. He does it, but he can't get Kino. 1 kill to start off with, and the 1v1 breaks in XSET's favor. They continue to stay alive, and we are a single round away from overtime.
Spirits didn't get a ton of kills in that round. He got 1 1, but he did have a ton of impact. He really allowed DS to get 2 of those big kills playing from bottom garage. It was the attempt of DarkZero to get into garage late in that round, clear out rafters, clear out lounge, and then push at a 2-pronged angle into the CCTV bomb site. But instead, DS really ruined their day playing bottom garage around that lounge area, took care of one player that was swinging to take care of the Raptors guy, and then when the second player was coming in through the garage door, he managed to take that guy out too. Very nicely done from DS to work around his teammate of Spirits, who again, 2 and 10's not great, but these last couple of rounds, he's been starting to heat up, and he's been having impact even when he's not getting those kills. If this is the moment where Spirit starts to heat up and XSET start to win rounds, and they can push this to OT and perhaps get 2 points today, this is, well, couldn't have come any later. So nice to see it now.
This is a much tighter matchup than we anticipated. I mean, hey, it's just following the trend line of what we saw out of match number 1, Jesse.
Yeah.
For those of you that didn't watch it, I apologize for the spoilers. You can cover your ears for the next couple seconds if you don't want to hear them. Beast Coast versus Astralis was match 1, and Astralis 8-6. But Beast Coast was actually in control for quite a while. And it's almost a mirror matchup in terms of the way these rounds are playing out. The first half for Beast Coast and Astralis was 3-3, which is different obviously from the 4-2 that we see here. But Beast Coast went on a match point in round number 9. DZ did the same in round number 8, but then it was squandered. And Astralis provided a very fun comeback and ended up winning 5 rounds in a row to put them away. XSET have won 3 in a row. A 4th in a row means that not only do we go to overtime, but it denies DZ those 3 full points that they need. And it also means that XSET give themselves much better odds of securing needed points for them to go to the major.
Yeah, I'll remind you of the stakes. DarkZero, if they lose this round, their realistic chances of the major slip away. It's a 6% chance or less if they lose this round right here. And if they win it, it's still only about a 1 in 4. But this is what they need to keep their stakes alive. XSETs, overtime would be fine for them. Over 50% no matter how OT goes. So they definitely need to win this round. It is extremely crucial. We are on Gym Bedroom, the site that XSET have not lost so far.
You know what they call stakes when they're alive?
What do they call them?
Cows.
That's true.
Halfway through the round, and NJR sees some bodies from below. The Banana Man himself, you said, and he's got the appropriate charm on the gun just to match it. Why not? Nobody's died yet. Gomez taking a lot of damage. That's about it. Adrenal surges from DZs you will come to hear because Finka is played almost every single round. Will allow DZ to heal themselves back up. We touched on Thunderbird being a key part of XSET's defense. Well, it's not Gomez playing this operator this time around, it's Yaga instead. Either way, there's still healing to be had. Adrenal Surge comes in, not too late for NJR to pick up the kill onto Gomez. DZ with the first blood. They've been mighty good at it. They will continue to rack it up as Pamba's in the midst of the bomb site, finally shut down by Spirits. He's got the shoddy out. What damage can he do to Hyper? Quite a lot. Keeping the numbers close. Canadian bleeding out as well. No Finka to get you back up, so it's a 2v2. XSET, the improbable comeback. It was DZ to answer. It was DZ to start. And now DZ are in a position, a very precarious position, where they'll need to find these last 2 players from XSET. Can Canadian be retrieved? That's the question. Diffuser goes down. Canadian will play for Intel. I don't think anybody from DarkZero is too punched to try and pick him up. Spirits gets the kill. XSET will retake. Diffuser is down inside a weight room. 30 seconds left on the clock. Both members from XSET over by the bathroom, and there's NJR for the lineup to pick up both of them. Well, he peels away at the defense, and despite the 3 rounds in a row, looking like overtime was on the menu, XSET falls short. DZ make things work in round 12. And that's tough for XSET's Berlin major chances.
It was a nice entry from the Charlotte major.